Okay. I'm here with...
Donovan Schneider.
And you did what?
Took top 8 at Arg Providence this weekend.
Okay. You want to start off a little bit about your weekend? And
well, going into the weekend, I actually didn't plan on going on this trip. It was like Thursday morning, I think we decided last minute we're just going to go ahead and do it, because my one friend wanted to top Witcher mids, or whatever that pyramid deck is. So for those 3 days, like I was up until Saturday morning, I was like, oh, I'm going to play Metal Foes. Metal Foes just seemed like really good. Saturday morning came, Metal Foes were just not good. They were terrible. They didn't do anything. My friends swear by them, but I just don't see where it is. So then I just quickly threw my Magician deck together, and gladly I did that because I ended up topping with it. It wasn't completely my idea. Like, I've gotten pretty much the list from friends like Matt, my friend Matt, and was it Matt, Corey, all them. They and Johan topped nationals with it. So like I kind of worked off of what they had already built. It didn't really change much. So I played 3 Bambuku, 3 Karen, pretty much 6 Karen. Cards was insane all day. People just can't, like, the only time this card is a problem is when you're playing against it in the mirror. Like, the mirrors were just so hard. Of course, the Performance Engines, one of all of them. One Joker, one Monkey Board, one Odd Eyes Unicorn. So many people said you should have just been playing 2 of this with Desires. I was like, it's not needed at all. Like, if it gets banished off the Desires, it gets banished off Desires. Like, it's just a nice searchable high scale when you really need it. 3 Pit, back row is just terrible. It's also just, you need high scales in this deck. It doesn't have many. It also makes good rank 7 plays. 2 Oath, 1 Wisdom Eye. This card is obvious. Some people cut this to 1. I don't think it's a 1. I like it too much. Like, it adds back cards from grave. It adds back cards from your extra deck. And it makes rank 6 plays, because you never want to overlay 2 Karens. 1 Pulse. Some people put this in the side, some people don't play it at all. I just felt like it's needed. There's cards like Spirit exist now, and Spirit's very hard for this deck to beat, and if you can force them to tag out of it, you can continue on with your plays and be able to pendulum summon more than 1 per turn.
Searchable out the Vanity Fiend.
That's another one, but like, no one ever, like, my top 8 or top 16 opponent sided it, but like he said he never sided it in because of this card. Then of course the one Zhangxi Magician.
How often did it come up that you could use it?
A lot. It actually came up every Monarch BA matchup I played, which I played I think 2 or 3. I would have summoned it immediately as much as possible. Then I also played Blue Eyes. I played Blue Eyes like round 5 or 6, and I knew he was playing Blue Eyes because he was sitting next to me like a round or 2 before. So I purposely searched his card out and summoned it, and he just couldn't play around the card. His hand didn't like support playing around it at all. 3 Abductor cards broken. There's actually, this weekend was the most I've ever resolved this card ever. Like, I've played this deck for a while. I played it at Nats. I played it at an event before that, and like I never found I could never make this card live. Yeah, like, it was so hard. Like, you don't ever see enough spells to make this live. Luckily, when I added like Pot of Desires and like played triple terraforming, almost every time I saw this card, it was live, other than my top 8 match.
You think Desires contributed a lot to your
Desires
vectors?
Did contribute a lot.
Okay.
It actually was usually one of either my second or third spell to resolve, but most of the time it was double terraforming, or terraforming into Iris. It was actually hilarious because I played against Magispectors round 4 or 5, Magispector Odd Eyes, and game 3 he made a Kirin lock, and I opened this card with Cosmic Cyclone, and then I drew into another one with terraforming. I drew into another one and also had terraforming in hand. I normaled this. He goes Kirin, go attempt to bounce. I go chain Cosmic Cyclone, bring this back to hand, then go Abductor, terraforming. It was he was salt after that. He was just upset. He's like, it must be nice. I was like, you had the Secret Village lock. What do you want me to do here? 2 Odd Eyes. I never felt like 3 was enough. Like, you don't really ever want to draw this card. You more so want to search it. The only time you ever want to see this in opening hand is when you need to search a scale that you don't have. 1 Dark Lady. In the original list that I got from them, or that I was playing from my friends, they were playing 2 of this, and then I think they cut it, but I still played it at 2. I still like this card. I cut it down to 1 just so I could play Desires, because like I never want to open more than 1 copy of this card, and I only want to see it maybe once. And like majority of the matchups, it's come up to be not that great, like Blue Eyes and Burning Abyss. It's truly only good against like maybe the Mirror and
Cosmo.
Monarch and Cosmo. 3 Apex Avion. Some people are playing 2 of this now. I think it's a 3, especially with Desires. Because, like, if you banish the 2 copies you're playing, it's kind of done. But, like, opening more than 1 copy of this with scales is really good. There was, like, one match where I opened double this in Kieran, and my opponent literally just didn't want to play anymore. He just scooped up game 3 and said, you have it. But you know what this card does. This card's just really good.
It's a lot of the auto wins include that card.
There's actually not a lot of auto wins I didn't have. I had 1 auto win with this card. People still had, like every time I played my opponents, they never had, like, an immediate out to it, but, like, they also never, like, just immediately lost to this card. Like, it was always this and Kieran, and, like, it still ended up being a good match back and forth. Like, they always had a good hand compared to this, like, when I summoned this. 1 Summoner's Art. Wanted to play 2, but then, like, I needed room for Desires. 2 Pot of Desires. This card is... it's probably my favorite card all weekend. It got me...
-9?
Yeah, that's what other people say, but, like, there was one time I resolved it, and, like, I still lost, and, like, because it didn't get me to the scale I needed, and I was already behind in, like, card advantage and play. Like, he had generated too much, like, tempo, and I couldn't keep up. But every other time I resolved this card, it was just, I won the game. Like, I'd draw, like, a chicken, I'd draw my scale I needed, and then, like, I'd just go off. Or, like, it'd make Abductor live. 1 Upstart, just for Abductor, and to minimize on all the non-combo cards. 3 Terraforming. I played 3 only because I played the 1 Secret Village. And then I had, like, the 2 Skyris. If I didn't play this, I'd probably only play 2 of these, but, like, since I played 3 field spells, I played 3 Terraformings. If I ever played the Mirror, I would just side out the Secret Village usually, or I'd ask them if they'd want to side out Secret Village. Majority of the time they did. One guy didn't, and he lost in game. That was a guy that lost in game 3 to Cosmic Cyclone. I asked him, I was like, would you like to side it out as a gentleman's side out? He's like, no, I'll keep it in. And he lost to him trying to use that lock. It was actually hilarious. 1 Odd Eyes Fusion, you have to play this card. It's just really good. I opened it so much, and I, like, hated whenever I opened it. Sometimes it was good if I went second, but, like, every time I went first and opened it, it was, like, just not another card in my hand. It was like I was playing off a 4. 3 Pendulum Call. It's Pendulum Call. It does what it does. Nothing special. Sideboard. I didn't like my sideboard. I never liked my sideboard. This is like a last minute thrown together sideboard, and just tried to do my best. Like 3 MSTs, 1 Cosmic Cyclone. It was just needed as many outs as I could to anti-spell. I didn't want to play Twin Twister because there's never a card you want to discard in this deck. Or, like, you already played Pendulum Call, opening Pendulum Call, and Twin Twister just sounds awful. Because then you're working off of only, like, 4 cards, which Pendulum decks I've already struggled with, especially if you don't open any of the big guys that, like Floodgates. I wish I would have played either 2nd or 3rd of this and cut this to 2. I really like this card because it can ruin the Cosmo matchup when it gets to a simplified game state. My friend actually had this scenario come up where he drew into this as his opponent top deck Cosmo Town, and, like, he literally blew him out because he needed that Cosmo Town to resolve. 2 Gamma Seals. I mainly sided them for, like, the Magispector matchup to deal with them opposing Kieran's, or I also sided it mainly for Spirit, because Spirit is just a tough card if you can't get the Pulse, or if you can't bait the Spirit play out. You just need an easy way out to deal with that card, because that card is actually just really hard. 1 Necro Valley. Sided it once. It was against Monarch BA. It didn't matter because his hand was just terrible as it was. So, like, it didn't do anything. It was just another card on the field. 1 Regeki. I think I sided this once. Card really does nothing, I don't feel, in this format. Other than, like, deal with, like, Vanity's Fiend and maybe Spirit. That's about it. 2 System Down. Never saw Cosmo, so never sided this card in.
Skillfully dodged Cosmo.
I skillfully dodged Cosmo all day. It was crazy. 3 Maxis. Don't like this card. This card really does nothing. Like this format, it literally is only good for BA and Burning and Blue Eyes, but no one's really playing straight Burning Abyss anymore. Really, like there's a couple people still doing it, but like everyone's gone to the BA Monarch matchup, and this card is just not that great. Even though I still sided, just because like it stops them from doing like their nonsense plays and making Dantes and all that. So like it slows their tempo down a little bit. Then 2 Fog Kings, never saw it. Sided it against the Burning Abyss Monarch Mirror matchup. Other Other than that, it would have been nice to see when I needed it, but I still beat him either way without
Kieran
seeing
is
it.
really hard.
Wasn't like it was kind of Kieran, but like I also saw like Avions and like they never really like the one BA Monarch mirror match I played. He only saw Burning Abyss cards, and like they got him nowhere because I had Kieran. But like I played Furman round 7, and like I just beat him mainly with just outpacing him with like Zhangxi and Kieran and I think Apex Avion. Or no, I never saw Apex Avion in the entire match. It's like I never played that card for some reason. My extra deck was Castell, only made it once. Dweller never made it. Utopia Lightning never made them. Then I had Beyond. Beyond was made almost every match, maybe twice a match. Naruto, the moral leader, I've made him once in top 8 in my game 1. It literally just won me my game 1 against him. But then like games 2 and 3, like I just got outpaced or I bricked game 3 against him. Gaia Charger never went into it. Ebon, my friend said to play it. He said it's pretty cool. It does things. I never made it. Big Eye, oh, this card was probably MVP in my extra deck all weekend. Like I always felt like this card wasn't that great until I was like, I needed a 15th card, and I was like, I'm just gonna play Big Eye and see where it goes.
How many times do you think you got it off?
I made it almost every match, and I won my game 3 or game 2 because of this card. I stole a Blue Eyes matchup with it. I beat Furman with it. I played a Draco player kit. I smashed him with it. Like this card just like literally won me the game a couple times. Just having that card in my extra deck. Flare Metal Dragon never made it. It's a really good card if you can. If you get the scenario to make it, but I never like got into that scenario. I usually just killed them. Odd Eyes Rebellion. He's really cool to make, but I never made him. I usually just send him off a fusion. That's about it. You have to play him. 2 Absolute. You have to play 2. 1 to set off Odd Eyes Fusion. 1 to make another Vortex if you need be. Sometimes you make 2 of them if you can ever. If you say you have to discard your Odd Eyes Fusion, sometimes 2 of those come up. He's just a really good card to make, so you can make Vortex or Rebellion off of him. Then 2 Vortex, 1 to send off Fusion, 1 to summon with Fusion, or vice versa. I can make them both with Absolute.
Any closing comments?
No.
Shoutouts?
I'd like to give a shout out to like everyone that I play with, like Steve Gleason, Matt Crowley, George Funk, Tito, Evan Balaga. I would like to especially thank Julian Lipoff, Chris Lynn, Darren and Jeff Strain for dragging me along to the trip. I never planned on going to the trip. They even like told me to switch my deck. They like literally insisted that I switch my deck before the event, which ended up leading to this. So I would like to thank them especially a lot. Other than that, like that's it. Hopefully I can get another top after this. Let's try. Let's see.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah.